Hi everyone. So in this session, we are going to see, we are going to actually begin making our paintings in GOND style. The first session that we'll do will be a tree making session. So we are going to complete one drawing on how to make a tree in GOND style. In subsequent sessions, we will learn how to make animal and bird, and then one final image we'll do where we'll add a human also in the painting. Now to complete this painting, I have taken, for the purpose of this demo, this is a 200 GSM paper. Usually GOND paintings are done without border, so we will not add any border to this painting. And there is a very peculiar style of a tree that is drawn in GOND painting. I want you to take notice of what we are doing here. There is a tree which is called mahua tree, M-A-H-U-A, mahua tree. So this is what these people draw, okay? And it's very peculiar in shape, and it is quite prevalent in the regions of MP and also in Andhra, so this central India. And this is what is predominantly drawn in traditional GOND style. It can be freestyle. I'll just start. I'm using my pencil here first to just outline the shape, and when we are done, we will use our liner, waterproof liner, to complete. I'm actually starting from the base so that we get the bottom. This is where I want the bottom. This painting will not have any border, and this mahua tree will have little offshoots. Now you see I'm going to draw one offshoot here, and they usually have these wooden branches, and in between it will have a leafy structure. So this is like all this is continuation of the tree, and here they have something like a leaf that they just fit in between these branches of the main tree, okay? And then we go about adding more dimension to the painting. While you see that this is where our painting this branch connects with the main trunk, so we'll add another leafy structure here. When we are painting it, it need not be green in color, because all GOND paintings are very colorful and we add a lot of color to the paintings. And before we go any further ahead, I just want to give you an overview of what I mean when I say that we will paint these in different colors. So you see, this is the branch, offshoot of the branch. My main tree is black in color, and I have done these lines with green on top, so that overall tree looks green, right? And the leafy structure, this stub, this leaf, is done in different colors. And you remember in the introduction video I said that these lines are very important because they define dimension. So this tree is in this dimension, while this branch is coming down, right? So you see that the lines here are drawn linear, and lines underlying the main trunk, it's drawn like this, okay? So this line will give us the sense of direction. So you have to be careful of how you want your shapes to look. Now for example, here my leaf, if I trace the main branch, main trunk, it goes from here, then it takes a loop and it comes down here, and the small dashes that are made, it is actually following the direction of the loop on the main branch, right? So that is why these small lines or dashes are very important. So the first painting that we do, we will complete it only with these dashes, okay? So we are actually going to make a assignment, tree assignment, separate tree, not this one. This is single tree. Ours will have 2 trees in it. So this was only for your reference. Now we'll come back to drawing our main painting here. We'll first color the whole trunk in solid dark color. I prefer to use acrylic color because as I've shown you, there is a base color and on top of that we draw dashes. So I will take these color. This is a turquoise blue color, which is kind of like green and dark blue in shade. So I will take this color and mix it with water. Sap green little bit to add the greenish tinge. So overall I have to make a very dark color. Here in this one I will do this tree and this tree in green, and this will remain brown. And I like to add 2 coats of the color so that this is even. Work with round brush. So now we have to start the coloring of central trunk, this section, this trunk. It is supposed to be brown in color, so we will mix this brown acrylic color with black so that I get a darker color like this, and I'll work over the whole surface. I think in this kind of mix I wanted to show you that this redness in the color is missing for brown color. So I will add just 2 drops of red to make it like the color of tree trunk. Before we move further on painting this tree further, like you see we've set the base, right? Now the next thing is that we have to add detailing on this. Before we move any further, I would like to give you a quick reference of how there are 2 ways in which you can do this tree. This, you see, I was telling you that you can add little bands in white color and brown color after certain distances. So you see these bands here and then here and here and here and then dashes in between. So this is one way of working on the tree, right? So after several like around 1 inch to 1.5 inch distance, we add a band which is white in color and then brown in color. This segregates our tree and it also defines the direction further. The other way in which we will fill these tree trunk and branches in this animal painting, you see we have just used dashes. There is no band that we have defined here. No bands are defined. Okay, so this is the second way and the most basic way of filling any tree branch and tree trunk, only with dashes, right? So in our current assignment, we are going to fill it, because this is assignment 1, we are going to fill it only with these dashes. So now our next step is to make lines and dashes on both these greens first. I have taken here very bold lime green, and to dilute it I will add this pastel shade of green. If you don't have pastel shade of green, you can add white. So this color is nice and dilute, and we can start working. There are two ways. In the previous assignment I've shown you, you can use your toothpick or kebab skewers to make these thin lines, or you can use a size 0 brush or even a size 1 brush. Only tip needs to have the color. Okay, round brush, and only tip needs to have color. Now let's start. We can begin first. I think this is the trunk, so let's start from here, from this center. Keep making dashes like these. Okay, go back, load your brush again. Remember what I told you in the previous class. Keep the brush straight and make parallel lines. And you will see that the base color will overpower this top color. That's when you know that you have to go back and load your brush. And these different shades of green that you get, it will actually give a very nice gradation effect on your overall painting. Try to make these lines parallel to each other. And just like other Indian folk art painting, the beauty of this style of painting lies in its rawness, in its unevenness. So don't worry if you don't get equal size lines or equally distant lines. Just like that, we have completed the bottom section of this tree. Okay, now we'll keep going forward. A lot of time our students ask if there is a correlation between GOND painting and dot painting that originated in Australia, the dot mandala paintings and other things that we do with dots, right? So there is totally no common connection. It's just by chance that both the tribal region developed similar style of painting. It's absolute coincidence, and nothing has been discovered or researched so far which shows any common connection. If you see this tree, this is giving an illusion of green tree now. So that is how dashes work in these kind of GOND paintings. Okay, my background was dark green to black. That's how it looked, but then I added light green on top, so the overall illusion for this painting will look green. Now this is the central body. Okay, so my dash will actually, it will not come on this branch. I will continue with this dash and I will take it ahead. So you see, this was the last dash that I drew. Now I could have taken one dash here, right? But I have to show the continuity of this central shape. So these dashes will continue to come here. So this is what I mean when I keep saying that dashes define the flow or the movement of our drawing, of our objects. Okay, so this is my central trunk. Of course, I need to go back again with color on this section. And this is a separate branch that has come out from the central trunk. So the direction of the dash will change. Here there is another branch. But first let's complete this branch. Here the lines will follow like this. And this is where diversion happens. So I will change the direction of line. of these dashes here. You've learned this, you've learned GOND painting. Rest everything is color play. And there is one more thing that I would like to show here. You see how these small dashes are also changing their direction. Here my dashes were in this direction, then it sort of went straight, and now it's curling towards downside. Okay, so this is another example of how I'm trying to show that my tree is bending. It's taking a curve shape. So this is again what we mean by the concept of dashes defining our direction of painting. To complete the central tree, I will take peach color, and in this peach color I have mixed white. So if you can check this was the peach color that I had, and I added white. I always add white to whatever color I'm doing on top for lines, so that it becomes little dull. And now I will again continue working. I'll dip my brush only the tip, and again I'll start working on making these lines the same way, the dashes the same way as I did for other tree. In this one actually I also wanted to show you, if you use a toothpick, then what is the kind of line that you get. So here I've dipped my toothpick. Actually I'm using a skewer, and you will get lines like these. This is the most authentic way of completing a GOND painting, because this is how it's done in the tribal region. The GOND people, they will use twigs of tree, and they will use, the GOND artists, they use toothpicks. And of course when we try to replicate them, or when the shams, the GOND artists, they try to replicate, if they have brushes, they do it with fine 0 or 1 size brush. But otherwise they will use these sticks, toothpicks, twig of trees directly, dip it in color and make this top dashes. That's why you will see that they use only 2 elements, like 2 movement of the color. It's either dashes or dots, and both of these are very easy to make with this wooden surface, hard surface. This is not flexible. If you work with brushes, then you have the flexibility of giving it any shape that you want. This is what we have completed so far, and in this section I wanted to show you that how I did my color selection. So after this green pattern was done, both trees were selected to be green, and the central one was little brownish in color. You see I used peach, but since the underlying color was more dark brown, so this has become little lighter, right? So which is okay. And the colors were very dull. The same peach color I have taken here on these birds to maintain the symmetry in the overall color pattern. Okay, and there are 2 more birds, and I am planning to do them in this blue color. I've just taken out this color. So this green is already there, and I wanted a color which was close to green, so I chose to do this blue color. And this is a cerulean blue, this one. I will use this color for both these birds here. I will complete them with the blue color. And also, since these birds are lying on this central tree, so leaves of this tree will be yellow and blue. Actually the whole painting had all dull colored elements, so to make it enhanced, to make it more bright, I had to use yellow color. And if you check the yellow that I have used, this has a little bit of orange in it, again because I had used this rust color and peach color in my birds and on this branch. So I thought I will use the remaining color on this yellow and mix and make it some orangish yellow. To fill the colors, it's very simple. You have to fill only alternate ones, and all the other alternate will be filled with different color. Now, since this side and this side are green trees, so here I will fill them with any color I'll choose. And this central one, I told you I'm going to do yellow and blue. So everything that's left right now in the central one, everything that you see white, this I'm going to fill it with same blue that I have chosen to do on these birds here. And maybe on these green I will add orange. So you see, I will play with the same color palette. I will not introduce a lot of colors. So to complete the painting, we are going to work like this. I will take my permanent marker to make these outlines, cover all the ends. This creates a very nice, everything that we do in this painting is to create that visual impact on the painting. So this creates a very neat outline for the shape of the leaf. And after this outlining is done, I have to make these central lines. I've taken my brush marker here. This is like the central line of the leaf. This brush helps me get this nice finish, like how it ends with a swoosh, right? That swoosh I just love, so I use my brush pen for that. Again, this is a waterproof pen. If I didn't have this, then I would have gone for a paintbrush to complete this section. And now the last part, I will take a 0.1 mm pen and complete the shading here on the leaves. You see, if this is my leaf, these orange ones, just make these lines and fill the shading here.